welcome everyone to the eMedica AKT Pass Guarantee Program orientation for the 150-day program for the January 2023 examinations. So the format today, really, it's a chance to meet the team, understand how does the program work, how do you submit your weekly tasks, how does the daily tasks work, and a chance for you to really ask any questions that you want. So use the chat as you've been doing for comments and discussion, and the panelists can pick those up. If you've got a question that you'd like myself or the faculty to answer, please use the Q&A to ask questions rather than the chat. And that's because as people say things in the chat, it sort of scrolls down and disappears. In the Q&A, it won't move until one of us deals with it, okay? Hopefully by the end of this, you have a really clear idea, but also be motivated to get started because the actual program is starting on the 28th, okay? And I'll start with what was in your welcome box for those that have already received it. And that is that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Very famous quote attributed to Lao Tzu. And it's a huge step. And thank you for trusting myself and the eMedica team to help you with this journey. Because for a lot of people, the idea of sitting and preparing for AKT can be absolutely overwhelming because the curriculum is huge, isn't it? And so sometimes, when something's so big, you just don't know where to start or how to tackle it. And so you put it off and you put it off. And, all you need to do, you've taken this first step to join this program. What you need to do now is just focus. Each day, do the work that's there in front of you. Make sure one step at a time, focus on doing the work. You don't need to worry about how will I cover key things in the curriculum, or when will we do this, or will we be able to, you're going to cover all the key topics that you need. By the end of the program, we will have covered all the key topics, systematically covered the curriculum, you would have developed exam technique, you will have climbed the mountain. You look back before the exam and you'd be amazed at how much we've gone through. But all you need to do is we've broken it down. Just do the work. Focus on the step in front of you, one step at a time, and you're going to get there. So let me introduce you to the team. For those that haven't met me before, my name is Muhibur Rahman. I'm a portfolio GP based here in Birmingham and Solihull, and the medical director and founder of eMedica. I did my own GP training in Neath Port Talbot in South Wales and passed my MRCGP with merit back in 2007. And I got a fellowship of the Royal College of General Practice in 2019 for my work in medical education, promoting GP careers and humanitarian and global medicine. I'm one of the authors of the Prescribing Safety Assessment. I've also written various books, articles, sample questions for MRCGP, both for AKT, CSA, RCA. I was an examiner and invigilator for the GMC, for the PLAB Part 2, the OSCE-based exam, and I continue to examine for Liverpool Medical School for OSCEs for 3rd to 5th year exams for finals. I just introduce you to the rest of the team. So the two core members of the faculty that will be at every one of these live sessions, both the high-yield webinars that you're going to see later, the full-day courses, the half-day stats admin, are Masood Rahman and Anna Graytech. So Masood Rahman is Director of E-Learning at eMedica, core faculty, has helped to write and develop a lot of the materials that you're going to see, and oversees our e-learning. So Masood, do you want to say hello?
Hello, everybody. So today's really about telling you welcome to the program, and we will all be spending a lot of time together over the next 5 months. You'll be surprised how quickly we become part of your daily routine and how those good study habits develop and how your knowledge base steadily grows. Now, we may not be seeing you face to face, but we will be seeing your work coming in every other day, and then every day we're going to be seeing you online, as Dr. Rahman said, for all the webinars. And we're always surprised how well we feel we get to know you and how quickly we get attached to each new class. So really just to say, please remember, you're not going to be alone for any of this. We're here to support you. Drop us an email, ask questions on the webinars, get involved in the chat. That is what we're here for. So we'll be watching your progress every day, right up until the exam. We're going to be thinking of you on the day. We're going to be waiting with you on the edge of our seats for those results. Whatever happens, we're here.
Thanks very much, Masood. And then I'll get Anna to say hello and say a few words. So Anna, again, is a core member of our eMedica e-learning team, will be faculty for all the course and webinars, but also will be the main admin for the PGP WhatsApp group for your specific cohort. So every cohort, so the 150-day program for the January exam specifically, will have its own dedicated WhatsApp group. We will send you the link to that in the welcome email, which you get the day before the actual program starts, and you can just click the link. We can't add you to a WhatsApp group. You have to add yourself. Just follow the link when you get it. Okay. So Anna, would you like to say hello?
Hi. As Masuda said, we really do feel like we get to know you over the course of this programme, and it's a really good programme. It really does do the job, but it can be very intense. So if I can give you 3 pieces of advice as you start out on it, first thing is to really commit to the programme. It's not a programme you can pick up and put down very easily, and if you lose momentum, it can be quite hard to get it back again. So even at the end of a really busy day when you're tired, and try and keep the momentum going, keep it, keep moving on and keep doing it. Second thing is to get really organized. You'd be amazed by a lot of people manage to waste a lot of time, really valuable time, because they can't find a particular link or they've lost a particular document. So get organized, make sure you save your emails. If there's a document that you think, I want to refer to that again, make a note of where you've stored it on your computer or whatever in your drive. And then the third thing is to trust the process. One thing that people find sometimes a little bit disheartening is that they don't know the things that we're trying to teach you. Now, of course, you don't know the things that you've got to learn. So at the beginning, if those scores seem a little bit low, try and have a mindset of thinking, well, that's really good because that shows that I'm learning things I don't already know, rather than going over things that I do already know. So trust the process. It's a really good program. I'm really excited to get to know you all, and looking forward to really good news in 5 months' time when we get those results in.
Thanks very much. And then I introduce you to Dr. Kennedy Umej, who is our eMedica AKT mentor. He completed the Pass Guarantee program in one of the earlier cohorts. So he's been in your shoes. And he's now right near the end of his training. He's right near the end of ST3. He scored 95% overall in AKT, one of the highest scores ever. And ever since, he's been joining and supporting future cohorts. And primarily, you'll see Dr. Kennedy will be in the WhatsApp group offering support. So Kennedy, would you like to say hello?
Can you see me?
Yep.
Good. First of all, I want to welcome all of you. I understand what most of you are feeling at this point, because I was once in your shoe. The thought of AKT sometimes can be overwhelming. The curriculum to be covered can be quite huge. Just like Dr. Rahman said, but take it one step at a time. And I can tell you, if I can score 95% in the AKT, it can make it. Some people tell me, oh, you're very brilliant. No, it's not like that. It's about focus, being organized, believing in yourself, knowing that you can do it. There is those people that pass, they don't have 2 heads. You just take that determination. Make sure that you don't lag behind with your Pass Guarantee program tax, because many people are just kind of think, oh, I will get to it tomorrow, and then it keeps piling up, and that sets you back, and then you start rushing, and then you don't get the best from that. Just know that you need to sacrifice some time to focus on this program, to focus on your AKT success, but it's doable. I will be in the WhatsApp group sharing my thoughts about how to get through this exam, how to support you, exam techniques as well. If clinical questions arise in the group, the best place to first air it is in the group amongst yourself. And I've noticed from other cohorts that the more they discuss about topics, the more they learn, the more they research. But issues that don't get resolved, just tax me, just involve me, and then I'll come in and put additional insight into that. I'll welcome all of you in the WhatsApp group. See you there later.
Thank you so much, Kennedy. Nice to see you. Oh. Okay, and then you're going to get emails sometimes, from other members of the team. So you might already have received emails, for example, from Selina Begum, who's our general manager, or from our wonderful support team. So Tuba Jamil, Jubaida Khatun, Rabia Hussein, Mariam bint Mu'min. You may get messages, or, if you've got queries and you email in, or you'll see that different members of the team will be there to support you. So let's go through how the program works. You are on the 150-day program. Okay, so that's over the next 5 months. So what will happen is the first 4 months, so that's day 1 to 120, the first 4 months of the program, you're going to get an email, and it will basically be the first 60 of 90 emails with work set. Okay, you're going to get an email every other day. And within that, there'll be daily tasks. These need to be done before the next email hits, so within 48 hours for the first 4 months. And then there'll also be weekly or slightly longer than a weekly task. Those will have a set deadline and a button that you need to submit it by. I'll show you how. And right at the bottom of every email, it's part of good practice that, if you've ever got a list, because there's a list of all the doctors who are on this particular program, that we offer people the option that if they no longer want to receive emails from us, they can unsubscribe, and we should make that easy. Don't unsubscribe from the emails unless you want to leave the program. Because if you unsubscribe, we won't know that you've unsubscribed. You will not get any more emails from us, okay? So you won't be getting the learning until you realize you're not getting it, and then it's your responsibility to contact us. But you see, if we then add you back to the list and you unsubscribe again, sometimes what happens is your email provider will say, this person's trying to unsubscribe. It looks like someone just adding them back. They might think we're doing something dodgy, which we're not. We really respect your privacy and data protection and all of that. But sometimes what happens is they add you to what's called a suppression list, i.e. you just won't be allowed to be added back to the list. You won't be allowed to receive emails from us anymore. That means that you're going to have to change your email. That, again, that adds delay. So please do not click the unsubscribe button unless you genuinely don't want to get emails from us anymore and want to leave the program. All right. So otherwise, don't click that. So, and then the last month, so days 121 to 150 of the program, you're going to get an email with work every single day. It becomes much more intensive. Okay. So each email will contain links to a question of the day. On weekends, there'll often be 2. There'll be, on weekdays, 1 block of online revision questions that you need to do. On weekends, again, there'll be 2 blocks of online revision questions that you need to do. There'll be reading. So we'll set you reading from places like the Oxford Handbook of General Practice, NICE CKS. There'll be specific learning exercises to develop knowledge in areas that you perhaps feel less confident in. And then there'll also be weekly tasks. Sometimes you get slightly longer than a week to do this, especially in the first sort of 4 months, but there'll be a set deadline, which will be in the email. You've got to submit that work by then. That might include watching videos and answering a quiz, doing exercises, doing additional online revision. Sometimes we use an additional question bank, the MRCGP self-test. So sometimes we'll set you questions from them as part of the weekly task. Some of the reading that we set is from the Oxford Handbook of General Practice. It must be the 5th edition. That's because the 4th edition is so out of date. Even the 5th edition, when you do your reading, remember this is like a baseline. There will be some things that have already changed or the guidelines have been updated since this book was published. But don't worry, we will cover the up-to-date guideline when we do the talk sessions, the live webinars, the courses. Don't worry about that. This is just to give you a good baseline. So if you don't already have it, please make sure that you get it. You've still got time to get it now, and it will arrive in time. I will post into the chat. Where's the chat? The link, okay, where you can get that from. So I've posted the link there. You can get it next day. Okay, so that's the Oxford Handbook. Most of you will already have this because it's a core text for GP. Most of you got this when you were in ST1. And something really important is to track your progress as you go. And this is both for you to know that you're keeping in check, but also it's really satisfying if you enjoy the little wins. So in your welcome pack, now a few of you signed up really recently. There's some people signed up today. You're going to get your welcome pack by next week because there's a bank holiday weekend coming up. Okay. So in the meantime, you will be able to access the digital versions of some of these resources. But within your welcome pack, there's a daily progress tracker. It's on the back side, the other side, the reverse of that picture that says the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So you're going to get 90 emails as part of the program. The first 60 will be every other day. The last 30 will be every day, okay, making up the 150 days of the program. So, when you've finished all of the work in email 1, tick the box and you know what, I've done that. And, when you get to here, you think, I'm nearly a quarter of the way there. By the time you get to here and all of these are ticked off, I'm halfway there. By the time you hear, I'm now just nearly at the end, the last stretch. By the time you get here, you think, oh, wow, I've done it. I'm ready. Similarly, within your welcome box, there's going to be a curriculum checklist. Okay, there's a program timetable with all of the dates, so when are we doing all the different live sessions, when are we doing full mocks, when do you need to make time to attend the webinars, what subjects are coming up soon. Okay, so you've got a clear plan. Again, you get access, those that haven't got your physical box yet, you get access to the digital ones on your resources page. But for example, the curriculum checklist, we've split the clinical domain into the different topics within the curriculum as a checklist. The stats, the organizational, this isn't all of it's a 36-page booklet, okay? But as you go, because we'll do some clinical, some stats, some admin regularly. We're not going to leave all the stats and the admin till the end. Okay. So as you're, you tick this off, you tick this off, you tick this off. When you get towards the end, you look back and you think, you know what? All nearly 600 topics that are in this checklist have been ticked off. I'm ready. It's going to give you a huge sense of confidence because you know you've covered it. Okay. And then the resources page. So within every single email that you get from us, at the bottom of the email, there'll be a link to your resources page. Okay. So that has links to key resources, plus the frequently asked questions about the program, links to all of the recordings for all live sessions. Once processing takes 2 or 3 days, will automatically appear and update. So I'll just show you, for example, this is what it will look like, the resources page. So this is the resources page for the current October program. Okay. So, you'll be able to download the 150-day timetable. Okay. You'll be able to download the curriculum guide that I've just shown you. You'll be able to download sample topic reviews, because one of the early tasks is we're going to get you to summarize topics that you find difficult and make reviews about them, so that as a process of learning. Useful links, including the high yield topic checklist, frequently asked questions about the program. And then at the moment, your resources page hasn't been built because, there's nothing to go in it yet. Okay. But by the time you get the first email, it will have these core resources. The orientation video, once this is processed, it will appear and you'll be able to watch it back. Okay. After the first high yield revision webinar, which will happen in a couple of weeks' time, you'll be able to watch the video of that. Later on, high yield 2, high yield 3, the full day AKT course, the stats webinar. So by the end of the program, there'll be a whole load of videos and a whole load of resources here, and you'll be able to click through, watch any and all of them as many times as you want. So I'm going to show you what the emails look like and just show you how to work through it and how to submit your weekly tasks. Okay. Now, the day before the program starts, you'll actually get the very first email, which is like a welcome. And within that, there will be a link to join the WhatsApp group for your cohort. There'll be a link to watch the orientation video, the video of what we're doing right now. Okay. And then there'll be some reading to do from the Oxford Handbook of GP to prepare you for some of the questions that are going to come up in the future. Now, this reading isn't going to cover every single question. You'll do some questions where we haven't already done the reading. As I said, it's just a baseline to get you going, to give you some structure, okay? And then look, there's a link to the resources page. There's always a reminder of when will be the next live session. So the next live session is the 7th of September, the first high yield webinar, which will be an hour of live teaching, okay? This is the unsubscribe button. You see, if you click this, you're basically saying you want to leave the program. You won't get any of our emails again. There is a warning about you're receiving this as part of the pass guarantee. If you no longer wish to receive the emails and wish to leave, you can either click this, or we have to add this one-click unsubscribe as an option, as part of best practice for data protection. Okay, so that's the first one. You can see it hasn't got all of the work because just giving you a little bit of reading and a chance to watch this back. I'll show you what day 1 email looks like, and then I'll show you day 2, because day 1, because on a weekend, there's a little bit more work than on a weekday. So I want to show you a weekend one and a weekday one. So essentially, all you do, start from the beginning and just work your way down. So look, click each link. So there's a welcome exercise. The first exercise we're going to get you to do is to identify topics that you feel least confident in. Be as specific as possible, something that you could read about and cover in a day or so, okay? So you're going to list these, and then over the next few days, for each of these, you're going to write a topic review, and there's a link on the resources page to examples of that so that you can master areas that you don't feel confident in. Then you'll be able to watch the orientation video. If you didn't already watch it, there'll be a link to that. And then can you see, when you click this question, this is an example of a question of the day. You always need to put in the same email that you registered. So like, I'm going to put the eMedica email in. So you have a look at the question, okay? You click the button that you think is correct. In this case, I've got it wrong. Then you read through the explanation. Then you click through and read more about this so that you're learning the subject, not just learning that question off by heart, okay? Because this is a weekend, there's 2 questions of the day and 2 sets of questions, okay? So you're going to click the second one. You're going to do the same thing, okay? When you click this, you will need to log in. Now, I've already logged in. So once you log in, you do the questions. It'll ask you to put your name and email. Again, make sure you put the same email that you've put each time. When you've gone through all of the questions, so let me put my name. And again, the same email that I used before. Okay. So I then go through my questions. You know, if you get it wrong, as well as reading here, you might read up a bit more about this topic. If you get it right, it might be enough for you to read the explanation that's here, okay? But when you get to the end of this, after you've done question 20, and you click the final submit button, it will send us your name, your email, your scores, how long you spent doing it, when did you finish it, so that we can gather data. And one of the things about this program, why we limit the numbers, is that our team will analyze all your data so that in the last third of the program, we will work out which areas are your weaknesses, and we will allocate you each an individual program for the last 30 days, so that some of you will get more on some subjects compared to your friends, because maybe they did better in some subjects and you did better in different subjects, okay? And then which case cards to read. So you've got the physical case cards, but you can also access the digital case cards if your physical ones haven't arrived yet. So in this case, can you see it says number 1 and number 2? So we're going to read and learn case card number 1, case card number 2, okay? And then the weekly task for the first week, you've actually got more than a week. You've got until the 11th of September, 5 a.m. to get it done. And that is to do those topic reviews on those 5 subjects that you identified in your welcome exercise here, okay? And then you've got your reading to set you up for, what's coming later. And you see, this is over the weekend and it's every other day. So you don't have to do it all on the first day. You can spread it out. Again, you can always click through to the resources page to access those resources, okay? Here's an example of a weekday one. You'll see that it's less. So weekday 1, your second day, again, you just work from top to bottom. So you've got a question of the day, do your question of the day, put your email, do the question. Once you've answered it, read the guideline that goes with it. You'll have 1 set of online questions, same format. When you click start, put your name and email. We'll, gather all that data, which case cards to read, and it's the same weekly task because this is still within that first period. Do you see? Okay. With the weekly task, once it's ready, you click through there, put your name, your email, and you just upload the task, upload the work that you've done. Okay. Some weekly tasks, there might be a quiz or something else, but when you click it, it will tell you what you need to do. And again, it tells you the reading. So you basically start at the top, work your way down until you've completed everything there. Okay. So that's how essentially the program will work. You will get an email 5 o'clock in the morning every other day from when we start on the 28th. Okay. The daily tasks, so working through the question of the day, reading about that, the online revision questions, the relevant reading, the case cards, that must be completed before you get the next email, within 48 hours for the first 4 months, within 24 hours for the last month. The weekly task has a set date, because sometimes it's slightly more than a week, has a set date. You've got to submit that before the deadline. And again, we will know when you've done the work, how long. So for example, someone that hasn't really done the questions, and instead they just like a minute before, they just start it, click next, submit, we'll see that you did 20 questions in 90 seconds. We know you haven't actually done it properly. You can't possibly have learnt the explanation. So you're not really committing, okay? We can't help you if you're not going to do the work. You've got to do the work. Like if I join a gym and I don't ever go and I don't do any cardio and I don't lift any weights, I can't expect to get healthier and fitter and get bigger. It's not going to work. All right. You've got to commit to the work. This is a hard program. Got over 225 hours of learning. All right. Like everyone said, Kennedy mentioned, it's hard. And what Anna and Masuda said, remember the program is there to support you to learn. Don't worry about your scores. The fact that you don't score well doesn't matter at all. Right the way through, we have harder questions on purpose because the purpose is that you're going to learn. When will you start getting good scores? Right near the end, the last couple of weeks, when it's all coming together. At this stage, we haven't done the bulk of the teaching. You will have completed all the bulk of the teaching, done all of your learning, the reading, the questions. That's when it's all going to come together at the end. Okay. I hope you found it helpful to get a clear idea. Welcome to the program. I do want to just mention one other thing, just because before we meet for the first high yield webinar, it will have already happened. And that is, I really hope to meet a lot of you live at the GP training conference, the National GP Training Conference. It's on the 3rd of September in Birmingham. It is possible to join via Zoom, but I think one of the nice things about last year we ran it because of the pandemic via Zoom, but this year we're back in person as well as on Zoom, is that it's really nice to meet trainees from different places. And, that networking is nice. So whether you're an ST1, ST2 or ST3, 100% of the content is relevant to GP trainees. So we will have GP focused workshops on women's health from someone who's just been appointed as a consultant in women's health, dermatology for GPs by Dr. Avad Mughal, who's going to talk about the 10 most common conditions we see that in general practice that are skin related. Dr. Ishtiaq Rahman, who is the team doctor for the England youth football team. He's going to talk about both a workshop on musculoskeletal medicine for GPs, how to do joint examinations, common conditions, how to approach them. But he's also going to do a session on how he developed his specialist interest in sports medicine and became an elite level sports physician. He used to be the first team doctor for Sunderland Football Club when they were in the Premier League for 5 years. He left that job then to take the England job, coaching the England youth team, being the sports physician for the England youth team. And he's been with them when they won the World Cup in India a few years ago. They won the Euros earlier this year. And so he gets to travel around the world. He's going to talk about how to develop a specialist interest. I'm going to be doing a session on remote consulting skills that will help you for everyday consulting, triage, telephone consults, video consults, and so on. Okay. So if you haven't already booked, someone will post the link. Use this code PGP 2022, all lowercase, because you're on the Pass Guarantee program. We're going to offer you a 50% discount. So whether you want the standard ticket, which includes the recording for a month after attending the course, or you want the extended ticket, which includes a recording for a year, whichever one, use that code, it will give you a discount. Okay, so I'll post a link for that there. Great. Fantastic. So huge thank you to everyone for joining and giving up part of your evening. I'm really looking forward to working with you on the program. Hope to see some of you in Birmingham at the national conference, but I'll see you all at the next live session early in September for High Yield Revision Webinar 1 on Zoom. So thank you very much, everyone. Welcome to the program. Really looking forward to working with you. Prepare and you will succeed.